Okay, let's weave the metaphysical with the cultural, the ancestral with the unborn, and treat country, land, where you live as a sentient elder that shapes destiny. What if the key to your future isn't ahead, but beneath where you stand? What if the future is not a line moving forward, but a circle turning inward? What if destiny does not arrive from the horizon, but rises from the soil beneath your feet, your ancestors whispering through the dust, the dirt, or the stone? Your lineage pulsing in the land like an ancient heart that never forgot your name. To walk onto ancestral land is not to step into terrain, it is to re enter a forgotten conversation. This is not nostalgia. This is not archaeology. This is origin, the place where memory becomes prophecy. And in a world suffocating from speed, amnesia, the dull glow of neon distraction, the question arrives like a soft thunder. What if reconnecting with ancient ground is the only way to shape a meaningful future? Let's look at the roots, the unseen foundation. Ancestral lands are not coordinates, they are continuities. They exist beneath the architecture of nations, beneath titles and fences, beneath historical distortions. They are fields of spirit, where time is layered like ochre and nothing ever dies. It simply waits to be remembered. To belong to ancestral land is to belong to a story older than literacy itself, wider than identity, deeper than blood. It is to descend from a universe that once spoke to you in the language of trees, salt water, stone, and starlight, even your ancestors' original tongue. Yet modernity has trained us to drift. Urbanisation has replaced campfires with screens glowing in electric fog. Globalisation has made citizens of everywhere but custodians of nothing. We live in architecture built from forgetting, and yet the yearning persists. A subtle ache, a quiet longing, the sense that something ancient is missing, and that without it the soul never stands fully upright. To reconnect in the 21st century is not to flee to the bush or discard technology like a shed skin. It is to cultivate inner listening, the return of the silent sense, the spiritual ear that can hear land think. Reconnection is not a retreat, it is a reawakening. Echoes of the past, wisdom for tomorrow. The wisdom carried by ancestral land is not metaphorical, it is encoded reality. Everything future generations need already exists in the patterns of the ancient world. The land holds knowledge of seasons that still govern us. It holds stories that outlast empires. It holds the rhythms of resilience, reciprocity, and reverence. Principles that modern society mistakes as primitive, but will soon rediscover as indispensable. For in a fractured world, the future will be shaped not by conquest, but by remembrance. The young who inherit this earth will inherit its cries: climate collapse, spiritual starvation, cultural thinning. But if they also inherit the wisdom of their ancestors, they will not drown in the inheritance of trouble. The land, when listened to, becomes a teacher that never exhausts, an elder who always answers, a guide who rewards humility with vision. Your grandchildren's grandchildren will depend on the decisions you make now, not simply with resources, but with relationship. The way you walk on country becomes the path they will walk tomorrow. Ancestral wisdom is not trapped in the past, it is a map of the future written in ancient ink. To pass it forward is not an obligation, it is a gift, a gesture of love extended across centuries, a promise made to those not yet born. Legacy, the future that walks behind you. Every step you take on ancestral land is a conversation between generations. You walk with your ancestors beside you and your descendants behind you. You are a bridge, a vessel, a hinge point between two worlds. To reconnect with ancestral lands now, to listen, to honour, to learn, is to become a keeper of the future. Because when the land becomes a teacher again, the people become whole again. And when the people become whole, the future becomes possible. So ask yourself this: what if destiny is not something you chase, but something you remember? What if your greatest purpose is buried in the places your ancestors once stood, waiting for you to return with open hands and an awakened heart? The path forward begins in the past, the future begins in the soil, and your legacy rests in the footsteps you choose to reclaim. Thank you for listening.